Well, it's me again, and this is my podcast and my world, where I take you along on an adventure where we get to explore everything and anything that goes on in my mind. Oh boy, is it random, is it crazy, it's nuts, it's all over the place. So grab yourself a cup of coffee and let's have a good time. Yes, let's do that. Let's have ourselves a fantastic time. Hello friends, it's me once more. I am your host, Graham, and this, well, let's be honest, this is the best brand spanking new podcast on the planet. I can only wish and dream. Actually, this is my world, this is my podcast, and welcome everybody. If you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button, and if you like what you hear, and welcome. This is something completely new and completely different. This is my number 10 podcast. Number 10. I've done this 10 times now, and I plan on keeping it going. And what's so great is every episode I do, it just seems to improve and get better and better and better and better and better and better. So, today is going to be, like I said, a little different. I'm new to putting this together this way. As you can see on the screen, I have put on the screen there for you to watch, to see, to look at my eyes. Now, you're going to be like, well, why are you doing that, dude? That's so weird. If you're not into science fiction, you wouldn't understand. But if you are into science fiction, then I'll tell you what, you're going to love it. Because I kind of stole the idea from one of my, well, stole is kind of a harsh way to put it. I'm paying homage, or borrowing the idea, from one of my all-time favorite science fiction TV shows. And if you're not familiar, I'll just go ahead and give you a spoiler alert. It is from Dark Angel, which I love. I absolutely love Dark Angel. It was one of the best TV shows, science fiction TV shows there was. They ran for, 3 seasons, I think? No, 2 seasons. They were supposed to run for a 3rd season, but they got canceled. But if you're curious to see what happened in that 3rd season, or what would have happened in that 3rd season, it is on DVD. Or, no, it's not. It's in a book. They made 2 seasons, and then the 3rd season got canceled, but there are 3 books to Dark Angel. So if you want to know what happened in the 3rd season, there we go. Then you can read the book. That's what I meant to say. So basically, I'm paying homage to a character on the film called Eyes On. And so that's kind of what that's all about. Also, I wanted to touch base with you too while you're sitting and listening to this. If you notice that there's a pause or a weird, awkward gap in time while listening to this podcast, I want to apologize up front. Simply because I am recording this in multiple sections due to the fact, well, that I'm trying to get done, okay? So I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to come out, I'm going to just tell you what's going on. I already recorded episode 10. Now, I recorded it. Everything was going great. Everything was doing what it was supposed to do, and I went to upload it. And it just sat there. I am really getting frustrated with YouTube, to be totally honest with you. Actually, I'm getting pretty pissed off with YouTube. It's getting more and more difficult to upload videos and do things with YouTube. They just make things difficult. And it's getting more and more difficult to do things, especially uploading. I have been trying to upload videos the last week and always having something happen, and it's like almost like they're throttling my upload. It is really weird. So it'll sit there and it'll just grind away at like a snail's pace. Doesn't seem like anything's happening. And then I stop it, I take it down, and I try to upload again, and then all of a sudden it works great. Now I know for a fact it's not my end of the deal. I'm using a brand new iPhone 8 Plus to upload my podcast, and I'm on an unlimited plan. I'm nowhere near being over any type of data or anything to throttle me back. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on with this uploading YouTube. I know through both my Netflix and my Hulu account, I'm having absolutely no problems. So I'm able to stream and watch videos and stuff, but for some reason, about every other video now, for the last week, I've tried to upload, I've ended up having this problem. So I'm not sure what exactly they're doing or what's going on, but it is quite annoying and a little on the confusing side of things. But I have been told that is quite normal. So on a completely different topic, yeah, I do that here on my channel, don't you notice? I'll talk about one thing and then 10 seconds later, boom, I'm going to talk about something completely different. So I've spent a lot of time recently up here in this fairly wealthy neighborhood called Suncrest, which is it's north of Spokane, Washington. And I've been noticing a lot this winter and this spring with construction, especially with pole buildings. Oh my gosh, they are popping up everywhere. Brand new houses, shops, sheds. I mean, you name these big monstrosity things. They're popping up everywhere. And I was just talking to a guy not that long ago, and I said to him, what's the deal here with this? Why are you building? It's like 32 feet by 40, I think it was like 48 foot pole building. And I says, well, what's the deal here? Why are you building? What encouraged you to build? And the guy's like, well, a couple of different things actually, but the economy is doing amazing. He's like, I have been in the stock market with my bonds and stocks and whatever for years and years, and just hoping that I was going to be able to make my money, back. And he's like, I sold. He's like, I sold, what did he say, $100 and some thousand worth of stock, which is nothing apparently compared to what he's got, because the market has boomed. He's like, we talked for a while, but he was telling me about how he didn't want to take it all out and yada yada. But anyways, he cashed some of it out, and he says, I'm building this shop to raise my property value. He's like, I don't plan on living here forever, and right now is the best time to build and raise your property value, and then probably later on in the summer sell, because that's going to be when you're going to make the most bank for your buck. And I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, man, if I would have bought a house a few years ago, this would have been fantastic. Then I would have been in that position to do that. But I don't know. The market is so crazy right now. It's like this great big balloon. It's filling up, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm just like thinking to myself, man, the economy is gonna blow up, and it's gonna get huge. What's gonna happen if all of a sudden something pops that bubble and everything just falls like a rocket straight to the ground? So it's kind of scary, because you're thinking, all right, this is great. I had another person that said something the other day. He's like, man, I'm going right now, and I am going to get myself some Bitcoin. And I'm just thinking to myself, you're buying Bitcoin now? Dude, if you wanted to make any money on Bitcoin, seriously, you should have got into it like 2 or 3 years ago. Bitcoin now is so expensive. you get in, you're really not, I mean, it could go up, but there's no guarantee, and you're going to lose a lot more money right now getting into it than you would have if you would have gotten in. You know, 3 years ago, you got into Bitcoin with $100. You could be sitting really close to like maybe $80,000 right now. That would have been great. But nobody really thought Bitcoin was going to go anywhere. Not really. I mean, there's like less than 1% of the population got into Bitcoin. Only, you know, I mean, those are small numbers. And so, but if you, with it as expensive it is now, yeah, it's going to go up, but it's going to cost you a lot more to get into it. And so I'm like, dude, you already missed the trip, man. If you wanted to get on that, you should have got on that before now. It's like gold. Man, if you wanted to ride the gold freight train straight to, you know, riches and glory, you should have got on that about like 10, 15 years ago. You know, when it was like $100 an ounce. Now that would have been when to do it, seriously. I've recently noticed something a little different. I don't know if it's different from my childhood or if I just never noticed it. But people these days seem to be extremely self-centered. They don't really seem to give a about anybody anymore, and it's kind of strange. It's throwing me off, actually. I've just kind of noticed this for probably about the last year or two, and I don't know if it's because of maybe like, I don't know, smartphones or modern technology or anything like that. I don't know what would have caused it, or if this is something that's been going on forever. But it's almost like there's a underlying arrogancy with people. A lot of people recently, like an underlining arrogancy mixed in with non-confrontational and a little bit of really lack of give a shit. It's very strange, but I'm noticing this with a lot of people recently, and it's really kind of like it's catching me off guard. You go to have a conversation with someone and they are very abrupt and they end it, and they just kind of like blow you off like you're unimportant. And now I don't know if that's, I mean, it could be just me, honestly. I do come across sometimes, I know that I come across sometimes as if I am bitching and complaining. That's just who I am. It's how it is. It's the way I am. And so sometimes I come across kind of harsh like that, and it's very off, or can be very off-putting to people. And so, it's something I've kind of noticed is with people in general. Like they don't want to engage in conversation. They don't want to engage in the world or people or anything other than their own self-centeredness or their own little like thing, their own clique, their own whatever. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just going on a rant, blah blah blah. Yeah, something like that. Anyways, I don't know if am I observing something that doesn't really exist or what? I don't know. It's frustrating. I've gotten to the point where there's so many people that are just so self-absorbed that you can't get into them and have a conversation with them, and they're just so not there, and it's just, oh my god, it's so annoying. You just want to like grab them by the frickin' throat. Not saying I would do that, but you just kind of want to grab them and just like get in their face and be like, wake up. I know with the teenagers, especially, you know, like the 15, 16-year-olds, maybe even some, you know, in the 1920s, but especially the ones that have had a cell phone since like 10 or 11 years old, I notice with them that a lot of them are very much into their little social media clique, and they just got to be the center of everything. And they're antisocial. They won't have a conversation with you. But when it comes to their friends, it's all about their opinion and all about their this and all about their that and what they think of you and what do they think of you, the way you're dressing and blah, 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 blah. But then if you're sitting across from them, it's like, I don't know, maybe it's because we're so much older than they are. You know what? I can't put my finger on it, except this younger generation especially, as well, is just very self-centered, very egotistical, very self-absorbed, they put themselves in a cocoon, trying to protect themselves from the world. I mean, it's just, it's like evil. Social media and cell phones with children, let's not do it. Don't go there. My wife and I, we didn't have any say-so. We have a surrogate daughter. She's 16 years old, and I think she was 11 or 12 when she got her first smartphone. And she's very, very antisocial and non-confrontational. And her cell phone, she can't go a day without it. She's always got to be checking her Twitter account or whatever it is, or Snapchat or whatever it is, and it is her world. And it's like the world outside of it is more or less a bothersome thing. It's like it's in her way. It's almost like she'd rather be in a closet all day long, not having to deal with anything on the outside, and only having a conversation with what's right in front of that, what's inside that phone, what's right in front of her face with that phone. And I've also noticed too over the years, I mean, teenagers are very very emotional anyways, and they're very all over the board, either, no matter what, they're all over the board. And it's just the way they are. I mean, they're a teenager, they're going through hormone changes and trying to figure out who they are and the meaning of life and where they're going and all these things. And then you go and you throw something like that in there. I think, also too, a lot of these young kids that commit suicide, I think a lot of that is because they have access to these devices at a young age, and then not understand, what exactly it all entails. But whatever. Let's change the conversation. Let's talk about something else now. Okay, so, I'm looking at the time and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, time is flying by. I want to talk really quickly about something that just popped in my head, and then I want to get your feedback on what you think of this new format, longer podcast, and that kind of thing. But roofing, roofing. I live here in the Inland Northwest, and I see people all the time either putting architectural shingles on their house or 3-tab. And it makes absolutely no sense to me why they would spend their money on a shingle roof. They only last for about 15 years, and they're just a pain in the butt to install, and I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. Put on a metal roof, people. You're not going to have the problem with having to rake the snow off your roof or any of that kind of crud. It's just that the snow is going to build up and it's going to fall off on its own because of the weight. Duh! Oh, and it lasts for like 30 freaking years. No, 50 years. Most metal roofs have a 50-year warranty on them. So, put a metal roof on your house. Yes, it costs you a little bit more up front, but you won't have to replace it again in your entire life. So, anyways, let me know what you think. I'm trying something new here, and I'd like your opinion. This is my 10th podcast, and it's really random. It's all over the place today. I understand. It's kind of chaotic. This is the first time I've ever done it in this style, where I'm recording the audio completely different. So Definitely let me know in the comments section below. And as always, I hope you all have yourselves a fantastic rest of your day. And, love each other and be good to each other and experience life, because this is the only day you're gonna get. There might be a tomorrow, but you never know. So, anyways, y'all have yourselves a good one. Thank you so much for being here with me. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button on your way out the door. And until next time, bye for now. And don't forget, I love you with all my heart. You guys are amazing. And I look forward to having many, many more podcasts.
This has been a Graham's World broadcast, brought to you directly from Graham's mind. So stay tuned, because there's more to come.